So out here chasing a ring still on this stave I started the other day. I think I'm on like ring 7 or 8 right now, but I noticed that it has a crack on these Sharpie marks. There's a crack inside the early growth. So unfortunately I've had to take this thing down several rings, and by the time I get to this line I'm going to investigate it some more just to make sure, but I know I'll have almost 2 inches from that Sharpie mark down, so that's still plenty to build a bow. Not really sure what design I want to go with on this one yet, but it does have some natural reflex in it. And anyway, so just kind of working on this piece. It'll be for sale when it's finished. Transitioning all the stuff from my shed into my garage, and then eventually go through all this stuff and get it out, put it back in, or put it in the shed. And I'm gonna make this entire area my new bow shop since it's air conditioned in here, and might as well put the stuff outside that we don't use. So anyway, this bow will be posted on my Etsy shop once it's complete. Again, like I said, it has the natural reflex in this. I don't know if I want to take advantage of that or still turn this into a little bit longer deflex reflex bow, but again, I'll figure all that out later on. So anyway, this is kind of what we got going. Bless you. Alright guys, so as you can see, I got this stave cleaned up pretty nice, and it does have 3 pin knots in it. There's one here, and then one here. But other than that, this thing is pretty good. So anyway, of course there's still a little bit of early growth on there, but not enough to mess us up, and that can all be sanded off later on. So our next step will be to lay this bow out and kind of figure out what kind of bow it wants to be. So pretty excited. Alright guys, so get ready to lay this bow out, and the way I like to do it is just kind of use some bowstring. Just put something weighted, it could be anything, on one end, and I just kind of got it wrapped on the other end, supporting itself. But anyway, so basically the most important thing is I have my center line, my center of the bow marked out, and I have where I'll cut it off. So I'm going to go with a 64-inch on this one, and so yeah, I just kind of move it around on my tips until I get it lined up in the center the best I can. So you can see there's a little bit of propeller twist out there, but anyway, so again, all that really matters is the fact that my center point is going to dissect the center of the stave on my center mark. Alright guys, so I got the string removed, but I just put a pencil mark right underneath the string. That'll be the tip of my bow. This is the center of my bow, but that's the second point, and then the tip is my third point. So now all I'm going to do basically is just use my finger as a guide. Just make sure you're relatively clean on the side of the bow or you'll get a splinter. But basically all I'll do is just connect the 3 dots basically, and just stick to one side of the bow. It doesn't really matter. Just kind of look over the bow and you can see the grain and how it runs, so you just want to follow that the best you can. Alright, so as you can see, I was pretty close to that center mark, but again, it's not a big deal if it's completely perfect. I mean, one of the most important things is just making sure your tips are in a line with the center of your handle. That's kind of just roughly what we got going on. So now it's time to actually lay out the bow. Alright guys, so got my rough layout of this bow, and I'm gonna start removing some wood and just get it down to these lines. These are all wider than what it's going to be, so once I get them down to that line, I can take another look at the wood and kind of just get a better idea of how I really want to have the final layout. But that all changes during the tillering process. So, but anyway, so far so good. All right, guys. So I got this stage for rough down dimensions. Looking a little crazy right now, but anyway, it's getting there. So I removed majority of the thickness off this upper limb. You see that reflex in there, but anyway, looking forward to turning this thing into a shooter. All right, guys, so after about 40 minutes of heating this piece, I got the deflex put in the handle, and just gonna let it cool, take it off the clamps, and just kind of check it over, make sure there's no cracks or anything, because the handle section's, I think that's close to 1.5 inches thick, and it's a little over 1 inch wide as well. So because this is going to be a 64-inch bow, I didn't go all the way down to the very bottom, because I don't need that much deflex in there, because my limbs are going to be a lot longer. If it was like a 56, 58-inch self-bow that I was making, I would go ahead and clamp it all the way down to get as much deflex in the handle as possible to be able to pull a short self-bow back to a 28-inch draw. Granted, this bow as well will be tillered out to 28 inches, but because it's 64 inches and a lot longer, I don't want to put too much deflex in the handle, because I want my bow to store the right amount of energy at a 28-inch draw. But anyway, so just so you guys can see, it's not like I just squished this block down and it just kind of compressed this down. You can actually see the curve in this thick handle, meaning that it got bent as well. So anyway, pretty excited.